over the off weekend to get ready to come to Thunder Valley.
And now he's back to the work side of it. Here's the Golden Greek Chris Karamesines. Was here in 1965. Didn't show up for the first round.
Look at that.
How about that? A 4:03, 301 miles an hour for the guy who's 82, 83 years old and last one around 21 years ago.
He's still an amazing guy. Look at that. Which was a little bit of a rattle early in the run. Kept it stuck right down the middle of the racetrack. He drove her straight and true in that number 11 spot. He's going to hope it holds up and keeps him in that top 12 transfer spot.
Look by Antron Brown, Larry Dixon. Morgan Lucas is sitting number 8.
Look at the bottom half. You see Sean Lang in the number 9 spot. Chris, the Greek Karamesines in that 12th position. How about Del Worsham? He's only 15th. And we mentioned Troy Buff is on the bump spot with a 7:05.
Well, here is the Lucas Oil ladder now for Top Fuel with Tony Schumacher taking on Sean Langdon and Antron Brown and Bob Vandergrift. Stat guy.
How about Brandon Bernstein? That's career pole number 14, which ties him with our very own Mike Dunn. But here's the stat. He scored his first pole back here in 2003, and he also won that race, too.
On the other side,
Wilkerson. Right now, though, back to the line. Take a look at Doug Coletta and Chris Karamesines. Let's send you to John Kernan.
Back in Tony Schumacher's pit, the car's already back after that first round win over Sean Langdon. The crew already busy at work. 8 crew members all doing their orchestrated ballet in tearing the engine down and rebuilding it to get it ready for the second round. And they have to hurry today. Normally, there are 75 minutes in the turnaround. Today, because we got such a late start because of the weather, it's only a 65-minute turnaround. They've already taken the blower off. The heads are already off. Pistons will come out. They'll rebuild it, and they'll be ready to go probably within another 40 minutes or so.
Thanks, John. Let's send you to the stat guy.
When you talked to the Greek about the first time he raced the Colettas, that was Connie back in the late 50s, early 60s in Michigan. He mentioned that Connie said, I have a bad eye. I want the right lane. Well, guess what? The Greek beat him. Next round, Connie said, hey, let's flip for lane choice. Gotta love those drag racers, Mike.
Back in the 60s, there was no bigger name than Coletta and Karamesines, and the Greek, it's hard to believe he's still going strong to this day. Obviously, Doug Coletta, we're talking about his Uncle Connie over in the other lane. Greek, it'd be great to see him get a win, but right now the track conditions I definitely think favor Doug Coletta. It's very good. I think it's very good out there, but we heard it's not as good as the final session yesterday, but still we've seen some 3:88 elapsed times. Key is going to be not getting any tire shake early. Oh, and Doug gets tire shake early.
Look at that.
Oh, man.
The Golden Greek takes the win light. It has been 21 years since the Greek had a round win. 93 different events. And here he is, 81, 2, 3, maybe 84 years old. We don't know.
We don't know how old he is, but I'll tell you what, right now he probably feels like a kid. Of course, he always does anyway. I mean, the Greek is definitely young at heart, and that's why he can drive that top fuel dragster. What a great job. Watch Doug Coletta on the other side. He goes out there, just rattles the tires a little bit. He tried to pedal it, catch it early, but then it went up into tire smoke, and that was all she wrote. Even with a cylinder out, the Greek was able to get the win.
I knew this was going to be a great day. He will come up against Antron Brown in the second round. Nice job. They're pretty good for an 80-year-old, huh? 80-ish, mid-80-ish. Well, we take it back to the starting line here. So the Lucas Oil ladder looking ahead to the second round matches up this way. A huge matchup. The great champion Tony Schumacher and Brandon Bernstein trying to get his first win in a very long time, certainly first of the season. And the Greek is going to take on Antron Brown.
On the other side of the lap, the Greek's going to take on Antron Brown in the second round. I want to show you what he's up against because this is a typical pit for what we see from most of these guys. This is Tony Pedregon's. They've already got 2 sets of heads laid out and ready to go. But let's walk over here. Well, you see the nice transporter that Tony has. And Tony's on a budget, by the way, this year. Then we get to the Greek. Check this out. This is what he brings his car to the racetrack with and probably has been doing it forever, more or less. But these guys are giving it their best. The Greek is packing his chutes right now. They are getting the engine torn apart to get it rebuilt, to get it ready for that matchup with Antron.
You know, when I was working at Pro Crank in the late 80s, the Greek used to come by and keep his car there over the winter, and I think that's the same trailer he had back then.
All right, it's going to be Melanie.
Yeah, Mike, I just wanted to do an update on Chris Karamesines since it had been so long, so many decades since he had won his last round. Well, look at this. His whole crew has more than doubled in size. His crew of volunteers, which was about 5 or 6 earlier. Now I've counted as many as a dozen, 12, Baker's dozen, 13 people working on the car. They're putting the engine back together. Asked the Greek, you guys going to make it? He kind of smiled in disbelief and says, yeah, I think we're going to make it out there. And thanks to all those guys for helping. He said he didn't even know who they all were or what teams they were from, but it's guys from all over the pit whose cars have been knocked out have come over to give the Greek a hand.
Chris Karamesines, what a great story he has become this weekend, winning the first round of racing. The Lucas Oil funny car made history as the NHRA celebrates its 60th anniversary. And you know who else was at that race, Mike?
I was.
No, come on. This guy.
Oh, Greek. I mean, who was there also racing?
Yes,
yeah, I wasn't racing in 66.
Yeah, you were in diapers then, were you not? Well, and the Greek is heading off for the second round. It took 93 races for him to score his first round win here. He'll face Antron Brown. And as long as we're talking about winners and how the ladies have done, well, and coming out now, the second round of Top Fuel, 35-year-old Antron Brown and 83-ish Chris Karamesines. And now a reminder of a couple things here. Racing started very late here. It's going to go on until 9 o'clock tonight local time. So at 10 o'clock tonight, we're going to have the finish of this event following the College World Series. So we'll get coverage of everything. And then, of course, next weekend we're in Norwalk, Ohio for the Summit Racing Equipment Nationals. Last year there, all 8 track records were reset. I mean, that track knows how to do it. What a story this is. Chris Karamesines, the Golden Greek, and he does everything. Look at this. Here comes a car. Look who's driving a tow vehicle. Yeah. Well, when you got an operation like that, that's the way you got to do it. That's kind of back to the old days. And Forrest Lucas, he walked right over to shake the Greek's hand. Everybody loves him, John.
Yes, they do, and he says he's going to do the same thing he does all the time, try to win. Says he's not doing anything fancy on this run, just go down the track and hope that Antron Brown's team makes a mistake. He says those big teams sometimes overlook his little team, so we'll see what happens.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. This Aaron's car of Antron Brown, Brian Karate, Mark Oswald Crucci have decided to take the left-hand lane. Now, I feel it hasn't made any difference. I mean, we've seen great runs out of both lanes. It's just a situation, though it can move around from round to round, but obviously they like what they see over there. Don't think it's going to make any difference which lane you're in. That's good news for the Greek, because obviously he can go out there and just run his run and hope for the best. Red line.
Oh, no. Well, it was a nice shot anyway, and the run down the track wasn't all that bad, but a 387 against the red light for Antron Brown, 314 miles an hour. Antron's going to move on.
Antron Brown, you saw he would left before the green light too. Remember, a minus 0.12, 12 of a second before the green light. He came on, but because the Greek left first, as you take a look at it, there cannot be 2 red lights in eliminations. The one who red lights the worst, that was the Greek. Even though both drivers left before the green light came on, the foul goes to Chris Karamesines.
Wait a minute, you're saying the Greek actually psyched out Ant?
I think Ant just reacted to the car leaving. He knew he had the race won at that point.
Well, we have a very special pit reporter for us here today. He is one of the best ever, one of the greatest, one of the top. Almost as good as Gary Gerald. He's Antron Brown.
We're going to turn the microphone over to Antron. Let him interview the Greek after they went head-to-head. Antron, the microphone is yours.
All right, thank you. Well, Greek, that was a great race. Tell us how it felt to go out there and you taught this youngster how to do it.
Well, I thought I'd give you a chance, but I didn't realize I red light on you.
Heck yeah, when I saw you go down the track, you were way out front and you were kicking my tail. I was trying to catch you, but I couldn't get you.
Well, next time, try it a little harder.
All right. That's the Greek, the man of the hour. This is who we all eye ourselves out. He's still out here kicking, but hopefully I could be like him one day.
Man, I hope I have a job after this. Come on.
Yeah, that's Emmy award-winning stuff.